Hi everyone, I thought I'd just give you a quick update. Those of you who've been following along on my Facebook page will notice that we've not only got a 2022 calendar up, we've now got a 2023 calendar up with a whole bunch more tours on it. And we'd really like to see people indicate their interest in those tours. Don't worry about booking if you're not sure yet, but you think, no, I'd really like to do that. On my Facebook page, there's a RESD booking link to a link that says request more information. And if you do that, then I'll keep your name and email address and phone number on hand. And as we get closer to those dates, particularly the 2023 ones, I'll get in touch with you and just see how you're going. Now, for those of you who are thinking about coming along on the 2022 trips, there's 3 of them. There's the Simpson Desert departing Alice Springs, arriving in Birdsville. It's an 8-day trip. If you haven't ever done the Simpson Desert before, I absolutely encourage you to do so. I have done it 22 times and I am still not bored with it. It's a fantastic trip. After that, 2 days after we finish that trip, we leave Birdsville, we head back out into the centre of the desert to Pebble Corner, and then, yes, it's Pebble, not Popple, not Popple, it's Pebble. Like Pebble, but with P's instead of B's. So we head out to Pebble Corner, then we go up the Northern Territory Queensland border, deviate a little to the west, follow a shot line back towards the Queensland Northern Territory border, drive up until we intersect the Hay River, visit Lake Caroline, Mount Winnicke and all other places, and then finally onto Batten Hill, where we finally sort of get out of the sand dune country, and then along a great big dirt road, not a big dirt road, but a long dirt road, about 80 k's, to Jervois, which is a station in the middle of the Plenty Highway, quite a remote place. Then along the Plenty Highway to Boolyah. From Boolyah we go down into the Diamantina country, a Lark Quarry where the dinosaur stampede is, and we finish up in Winton at Tattersalls Hotel for a great celebration. Now you can do the Simpson and the Hay together and have a 2-day layover in Birdsville. Now, if you're doing any of those trips and you want to book a cabin, whether that be in Alice Springs or in Birdsville, you really need to book now. You need to book the tour, so pay your deposit, I think it's $250, and indicate to me that you want a cabin in Alice Springs and or Birdsville, and or Winton if you're doing the other trip, because I will tell you now that even if I book them a year ahead sometimes, they're not available. So can't make any promises, but indicate you want that when you do your booking and we'll see what we can arrange. Okay, so that's the desert trips covered, the Simpson and the Hay, but there's one more trip we're doing and it's especially for women. It was something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. Both Misty and I are going to be on that trip, and hopefully we'll be on all 3 trips, but Misty will definitely be supporting me on that trip, and we will start in Alice Springs. We'll go down the Old South Road, we'll spend a night in the Simpson Desert, we'll visit all these exciting places, a swim in Dalhousie Springs, which will be fabulous, most likely on the way back for that trip, way back out of the desert after spending our night under a billion stars, and we'll visit the home of the Northern Territory legend Molly Clark, and then we'll go on and visit the beginnings of the Gun Barrel Highway, and then we'll duck up to Uluru, and we'll let you go and explore Uluru and Katajuta, and that's where we finish. However, I have to travel back to the Stuart Highway, and Misty has to travel back to the Stuart Highway and up to Alice Springs. So if you want to return to Alice Springs because you're hiring a vehicle or whatever, then you can come travel back with us, or you can make your own way. Now, when it comes to hire vehicles, you will not be permitted to take hire vehicles into the Simpson Desert unless you're with a guided tour. So if you're hiring a vehicle, I really encourage you to go ahead and book those tours now. So, with all of that calendar stuff out of the way for 2022, I'll talk really briefly about the calendar for 2023. We're going to be going to the Kimberley first in 2023. Now, this is a 21-day trip from memory, and it starts in Alice Springs. It goes up the Tanami Road. Lots of people are interested in that. We've got a nice, a number of camp spots along the way, and we then go up to begin the Gibb River Road and essentially do a big lap around the Kimberley, visiting the Bungle Bungles and all the exciting places, Mitchell Falls and everything else. So that's how we begin the year. Then we do the Simpson and the Hay, and then we do, so if you missed the Simpson and the Hay in 2022, you can catch them in 2023. Then we're planning Gun Barrel Highway and Canning Stock Route. Now, that trip will depend upon COVID being under control and the remote communities allowing us to travel. So we'll have some kind of special arrangement for booking that trip if it looks like it might be in doubt. Nonetheless, any of our trips, if we cancel, you get your deposit back, right? You cancel, you don't get it back. Well, depends how early you cancel, but you get the idea. So, Gun Barrel Highway, Canning Stock Route in July, August, then Cape York. Now, this may well be my last Cape York trip. I promised myself back in 2013 that I wasn't ever going to do another Cape York trip. So, this may well be my last. So, if you want to do the Cape and you want to do it with me, best you get on that trip. So, that's 2022, 2023. I'm going to come back in a little while and I'm going to do a video about prepping vehicles, because I always get kind of responses from people when they book the tour and they're all excited and they say, I'm planning the modifications to my vehicle. Now, I get that. It's really exciting to be kind of making your vehicle the way you want it, but I really discourage people from spending a lot of money on a vehicle that doesn't need it. So I'm going to be talking about that. These trips aren't that inexpensive to do, really. I know because I'm doing them all the time, and I can tell you that, driving all of that distance, using all that fuel, even though I'm getting paid to do it, I can tell you now there's not a lot of margin in it. So, don't go spending lots of money. There are critical things that need to be looked at with your vehicle. I'll talk about those in my next video. Bye.